Custom, 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 custom. So you want to make a bag like this? Come with me on my journey and I'll show you from A to Z.
You hear that? Decor. Big up Rosie Decor by Rose. Okay, don't forget to subscribe. You hear that? So go out and subscribe this beautiful, wonderful lady here.
There's no decor like this decor anywhere near this decor. This is Rose's decor, where style and quality is our service.
More to like the video, more to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. Hi guys, how you all doing today? Welcome back to my channel. Okay, I made a bag. It was my last video, but I have this bag. I have it for years. It's a genuine leather bag, and for some reason, I really love this bag. It's big. Every lady, every woman like a big bag. Not really huge, but can fit just about every little thing. So I really love this bag. But first, it got torn in the middle here. What happened? It seems like the manufacturer put the leather onto like a canvas, like patched piece of leather. That's the design of it. But honestly, I have it for years. It's been there and back. So what I did was to go and get a piece of leather material, which is this. I'm gonna make myself another leather bag. But this I joined it so it becomes a two-tone bag, right? So I'll be using that to make over. This brand is actually take off just about everything off this old bag. All right, such as the name of it is Sapsucker. Yeah, that's the name of the brand. As you can see clearly, Sapsucker, established in 2008. The product are very durable. This is the piece to go on the pocket area. This is to go on the front. I also take off the zipper. I changed the black and put on the green that I'm going to use because it's a green and cream. So I already started that, and as you can see, I start making the bag itself. Right. So this is so I join. This is the bigger piece. So I join this and the green uh together. I also um already go ahead and cut out the liner. So I'll have a liner inside of the bag as well, and I make sure capture even the pocket. As you can see, they have their watermark in their product. Watermark is, yeah, they have it right there. You can see their watermark is on their material. So I'm gonna use but this piece of material to do inside pocket. Just go ahead and get a very durable piece of gold material. Um, just to this maybe a little bit thinner. It's stronger, even though it looks this way. So I'll go ahead and get another durable piece of material to go with it. And also the pocket, I'm not gonna make it any bigger. I'm just gonna stitch that on the inside of the pocket. But of course, these will be hidden. I'll make sure that part doesn't show. So I feel more comfortable having the same pockets and everything that comes with the bag. So I'm gonna go ahead now and start doing my bag. All right. So first, I love you, but you no more. I scrap you to pieces, but you're no more. So in the trash you go. All right. So my focus is now on this. So this piece of material is a genuine leather I'd mentioned before, and the measurement of it is the width. It's a very long tape measure. It's 20 inches. Ooh, 20 inches wide. But by then, when everything tucked in, it's not gonna be that big. But the size of the material you'll get is that, and 16 and a half. I want for you to see that. Let me just zoom it down a bit. 16 and a half. But remember, it's fold. So whatever you do, it's already joined. So you know the half inch here, half inch there. So it was 17 and a half. If you're not doing a two-tone after folding. So if it's 17 and a half, you times that by 2, and that would be the length of that piece of material that you'll be getting. Also guys, the piece that cut out that you see looking like a rectangle when I fold it, you get that shape. That part of it is 3 inches by 3 inches. So when you fold it, you're gonna cut 3 inches from the edge in and 3 inches up, and you'll just cut both sides out. That little folding part there that you see my hands at, those little section right there like a L shape when it folded, that part 3 inches and 3 inches again. So first you're gonna join it like that. Make sure you get the center of the material. So you're gonna do a little pinch. So you know where the center of the bag, the center. And we're gonna do that also with the pocket and with the liner, just the same. So we're gonna line up everything. So we'll be doing that on both sides. So this is our liner, so we put it right there. So the pocket has to be centered as well, but I'm not gonna put a niche on it. Instead, I'm just gonna put a mark. The reason why I'm using this, because if I use the pencil, I'm not gonna be able to see, and then it will be hidden anyway. So that's the center of one of my pockets. Guys, I was planning on just stitching the pocket onto the liner, but for some reason it's not gonna work or look like how I want it to be. So realizing that, I just have to go the original route. I have to rip the pocket out, try to center it first. But first I have to find the center of the bag, which is that niche right there, and then find the center that I've marked with the pen right there and line it up. But then I have to do 2.5 inches from the top down, and on the other end, on the other, that's one side, 2.5 on each side. So making sure they're all even, and then draw a line across just for centering, and then I'm gonna stitch. What will be happening right there is still making sure that after measuring that 2.5, I'm gonna go down a inch and a half, and that's where I'll be attaching the pocket there onto the liner, and then mark out the zip space. But I'm gonna use a pin just to put in line, just to keep it where I'm gonna place the pocket, because the pocket and the liner has to be on the seam, has to be centered. The part I'm measuring now is the area of the size of the purse, because as long as you find the middle, then that's the area. So I'm marking out where the purse is gonna be, and that's where we'll draw the line. So now I'll be drawing a line in that center area. So now we'll be cutting out that line after we stitch around the area. Let me get that clear. We'll be stitching around the area of this. Remember, we do 1.5 inches. So 1/2 inch from here to here, and then 1/2 inch from here to here, and then from here to here. So the middle of the 1/2 inch, that's where we'll be focusing on the stitch around. But before we do that, I'm just gonna make a little triangle thing right at the corner to making sure that's where maybe stitch line we'll be focusing on. So we'll be stitching around that line. So guys, after going through, stitch up everything, not realizing that the pocket should be attached to it, so I can get the zipper part and everything lined up. So what I have to do after going through all that is to still cut it out, but find a way how to get the pocket in. So the next step I have to do is to just rip that pocket out, which should be done from day one. After realizing that I'm still gonna use that pocket, so this is the way I have to do it, by just taking off the leather around it before I can go any further. So I'm just gonna take this off, and after putting the zip the correct way, then I'll just put this leather piece over it. So let me do that and get back to you. So I'm just gonna sort of line this up and stitch this down. What I can do, guys, is to make the same measurement just as this one. From here to here, I'll just do the same. From here to here, and from here to here on this, so I can get the same exact fit. So just pull this up a little bit, just like that. Pull it up a little bit so I can get the perfect measurement I need. So I'm just gonna pull it 1 inch up from here, from the line, safer that way. So 1 inch is right there. So I'm just gonna pin it in that area right there. And you realize it covers the 2 edges where the sewing. So let me do all that and comes right back. So guys, I managed to get the line that I'm looking for. So now I'm gonna stitch it around and then cut, making sure that the cutting is equal to the back one. So guys, now I managed to get the stitching along with this evenly. So if you look on the other side, I'm just gonna cut along the same area, making sure I have that opening. We have our pocket opening. We're just gonna install the zip. This little part, don't worry too much about it, because remember the leather is gonna go over it, and it's because I'm trying to use back the same zip, so the space at the edge is a bit minimal. So I'm trying to work with that as well. Guys, I'm thinking since I already taken off this piece, why not just get the color of the bag I'm sewing? So I'm just gonna go with that. Maybe I do not get to go at the same stitch as this one. So what I'm gonna do is to just put this aside in remembrance of my old bag and cut the material, the piece of the leather that I'm gonna work with now and use that color. So I'm just gonna put this aside, but I'm not gonna change this piece. I'm just gonna leave it as is. So guys, I've successfully installing the zipper. See that the green, it's the inside zip. So the thing is that close the pocket now. So I did leave off the half an inch. Remember, I leave 1 inch up. So I use up the 1 inch in the zip, half inch in the zip. So the other half inch is to stitch this other piece. And just bear it in mind that I'm using my old pocket. So reason being all that little hiccups. And when I stitch it on the back, we're just gonna lift it and stitch it all the way around so we can secure our pocket. So we are finished with this part of the zip. Our pocket is ready. So it's time now to put on the other side. This we're doing 2 pockets. We're doing that one and one on the other side. So inside our bag can have 2 inside pockets. All right. So using that the same pocket as I told you, same pocket. Seems like it's a double pocket because you have these 2 little ones and then the bigger one. So I'm just gonna make it just the same way. And guys, I almost forget, I was supposed to put this on the inside pocket. This will be going on the front of the bag, so that has to go on before the liner goes in, so these locking area doesn't show. Same thing applied to the inside pocket, but I'm not even sure if that can work anymore. It should go here. It should be able to work. Yeah, it should be able to work because it's not yet locked up. So yeah, I'm not too late. So I can put that on so it looks authentic. All right, so I'm just gonna put that thing right here and on this. So as I said, I'm just gonna stitch this on. This is very simple. The only thing I need to do is to just, it was doubled as is, so it was like, where's the pocket? Here. So you gotta be like that. So you just gotta stitch it around. This should be on here. It's very simple. Just put some notches in, and when it comes out at the back, we're just gonna put that to lock it. A matter of fact, tell you what, I'm just gonna do it right away. It's at the center since I'm at it. So center for pocket is here, and we're just gonna put it just a little below it. See, 2 inches below. So we make those 2 dots. So we just simple use the scissors, take our pocket out the way so we don't clip our pocket, and just put 2 little snatches. This should be easier for me, guys. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna stitch this on right there, and then the hole's already there, so I'm just gonna put this thing onto it and then lock it with this. I should have mentioned that the area from the pocket from here to here is, I do it 2.5 inches. So we have a lot of pockets here. So we have that one here, a little one here, and a big one here. But it's very simple. All you need to do is just get a plain regular pocket, stitch on, and have these two and stitch them on before you put it onto the liner. Okay, and I did mention that I was going to stitch this on, so now it's on. We're gonna move our pocket out the way, and I did snatch those two little holes, so I'm just gonna poke this in just like that, so it sits around like that. Okay, to close it now, just place this piece of plate over it just like that, and we lock it down. So in that case, it won't be able to move. Just press it down, and that should be it. The pocket will be over it. Moreover, it's gonna be on the inside of our liner, which will be fixed in, so it won't be showing. And there we have our logo. Just clip this little piece of thread off. So now our liner is out the way with our pockets, and this is our main bag. We have a piece of material here that we'll be using for our outer pocket. So we have our face up, outside up. This is our right side. This is our right side. So right side to right side. So let us get the center of the pocket, because we already have the center of the pocket lined up for our bag here, which is the center here. And just put a little snitch right here. We're trying to find the center of our pocket. We're just gonna go down 2 inches from the top, making sure it's lined up. What you can do is to iron this if you're finding difficulty to find the center with this, or just put a crease so it follow the crease along with that. So we measure 2.5 down, which is there, making sure the side pieces are the same, because material does shift at times. So yeah, 2.5 inches, and this side should be 2.5 inches should be on that side as well. Perfect. So you might want to grab a pin and to stitch this down. Pin it down with the pin so you won't lose your measurement. So guys, we're gonna measure from the top of our pocket down. We're gonna measure 1.5 inch on the other side. Let me take the zipper out of the way. We're gonna draw a line, join our 2.5 inches. Make sure don't mark on our material, main material. Okay, down we're gonna measure another 1/2 inch from that line. Same thing on the other end, and we're gonna make a line only on the material. only on the pocket material. Guys, between those two lines, we're gonna find the center, which those between those two lines is 1/2 inch. So we're gonna find the center, which is 1/4 and 1/4, and make a line going straight through it, and that will be the cut point we'll be placing our zip. The length of our zip is 9 inches, and the length of our material is 11. So we're gonna mark 1 inch on each side, 1 inch as I said, 1 inch on each side. So that's where we'll be sewing around at that point. I'm gonna make a line. After making that line down at the 1 inch, we're gonna make a small little triangle on the inside, just like that. Two little triangles, just like that, right? So we're gonna stitch our line from here all the way around this area. So we're gonna stitch this onto our main bag. Now that we stitch our area, we're gonna gently cut the line across. When it reaches here, you wanna go slant, just like how you see the triangle are. Just cut along the triangle line. Now that we make our cut, we just want to turn this inside out. No, it shouldn't be inside out. It should be outside in. Well, that's the opening of our bag. We want to pin it down, or you can just flat stitch it. Since it's leather material, it's not gonna keep in place for too long, so it's best if you stitch it round, or you can just pin it down. I'm just gonna pin mine and then attach the zipper to it. Guys, I successfully put on the zip, and since I like the thing around the zip on the inside, I choose to put a gold one around the front, and I actually get a chance to put on, somehow it looks a little bit off by about maybe 1/4 inch or less than a quarter, but it looks a bit lean. But I didn't want to move it because I already pinched the hole in it. I didn't want to remove it, so it's good just like that. But I have something else. Yes, and another thing, I changed that as well, and I also have something to put here. I think I'll do that, show that on the finishing touch, or you already seen it on the thumbnail. All right, so it's now time to put on our straps, but I'm gonna make a two-tone strap as well. It's just a basic strap I'll do. Just gonna fold it, it's a simple folding just like that, and then put the cream piece on the other end. And also I'll be using I'll be using these to put on the straps. All right, guys, what I'll be doing is to center this 1-inch strip into half. The reason for doing that, this I'll be folding in half like that. So when I go around the machine to make a faster finish, sometimes when I have it around the machine it tends to slide. So having a line in the center will guide me as to what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna make a line on both pieces. So here we have our line, so it can guide me as I go along. I'm gonna place the first strap 5 inches away from the end. So each end I'll come in 5 inches. Remember the top of the width of our bag at the time of the measurement was 20. So I'm gonna go in 5 inches in and 5 inches on the other side, and I'll be 2 inches down from the top. Guys, the piece that I'm about to put on is a little short tab, about 3 inches after folding. So I'll be cutting 6 inches, then fold in half. But before we fold it in half, there's a piece of metal that we need to install first. Snap that on so the main strap can be hooked onto it. So we're gonna do that first before we start. Guys, I must admit that we successfully put on that piece, but on installing the strap, remember we fold that strap and then putting that on, and to fold it again is very, very thick. And remember, it's genuine leather material. The machine, well, has a bit of struggle by tacking that together. So the finishing maybe, well, to me, it didn't look as how I wanted to, because even though it's an industrial machine and the feeder and everything, it's that standard, it was still a bit of struggle by getting it done the proper way. I think I should have used my hand to do the sewing, but I want it as neat as possible. But to be frank with you, I do not have that type of needle to pull the thing around it. So I do it the best as I can, and then leave and trying to put on my customized name on the bag. So that's the very main part of this project, by customizing the bag, and that's where we are. We have finished with our straps. So the next step is to put in our zipper. To put in our zipper, okay, we put the right side of the bag on the right side of our liner face to face, and between that we put our zip, starting from the edge. What I normally do is to change the presser foot and put in the zipper presser foot to give it a better finish. And a flat stitch down zipper part. If you notice, I did not start the zip from the edge. I started about half an inch from the edge, but I do start the main bag and the line off with each other. Now that we finished installing our zip, we're just gonna change back the presser foot and finish up our bag. First, we're gonna start from the main, the bag itself. I take in the sides. Our next, the V cut, we're just gonna pull it like that. Make sure that it's open, preferably stitch it that way. So we stitch it across and we do the other side just the same. Guys, when you reach at the liner, one of the side, you have to do it halfway, meaning you have to, where you see the cut, you stitch it from the edge to maybe about 4 inches up, and then from the top here to another 3 inches, and leave that space between, because that's where we'll be pulling out all our entire bag through, and then make a final stitch, and that's when we will complete our bag. And here we're gonna open it like that, just like the main bag, and we're gonna stitch across. So it's now time to open your bag. So I'm just gonna pull everything through. So we pull through our bag. So it's just time to just tuck this in. Let me zoom it up. We're just gonna do something like that. Hold it in, hold it in, and that edge we're gonna stitch along. Stop, back stitch. Wow, look at that, guys. The bobbin thread done when our bag is done. That's the last of the bobbin thread, and that's the last of our sewing for our bag today. I'm gonna show you what the bag looks like. That's the inside of our bag. As I said, do not watch the pen mark, because I actually use this older inside pocket, and that's, we have another pocket there. Okay, and that's another pocket here. Okay, guys, there you have it. Your own name could be customized on your bag. also do customize on cushions as well, and also on frames like wall decor. So please do, if you like what you're seeing, give it a like, subscribe, and share this video. Thanks so